what would you say to people who are struggling? And just so you know, you think because you came into this maybe, you know, a couple decades ago or a decade ago, like there are 50-year-olds, 40-year-old men, women who are literally going through the struggles you were going through in your early 20s right now. And that's not to judge them. What would you say to those people who are struggling to find their purpose and connect with their faith, especially in difficult times?
There's a lot I would say, but I think the first thing that I would start with is you have to make a decision that you don't want to continue life feeling the way that you feel. So for me, it started with the decision of, this is not the life that I want to live. I don't know what life I want to live. I just know this isn't the way I want to go through life. So it really started with a decision to not accept defeat. And that was heavily influenced by my faith, because despite how I felt, I knew of certain truths. I don't know too much about the Bible. I'm not like the most well-versed about scripture, and I can't, you know, like bring up scripture off the top of my head every time, but there were very few words of scripture that I just knew were God's promises. And one of those was, God is not going to bring you to anything that you can't handle. So that truth was always at the forefront of my mind, especially when I was struggling, was if I'm struggling with it, if it's in front of me, God has the confidence in me that I can endure this. So what better cheerleader to rely on than, you know, God's promises. And one of those was, God is not going to bring you to anything that you can't handle. So that truth was always at the forefront of my mind, especially when I was struggling, was if I'm struggling with it, if it's in front of me, God has the confidence in me that I can endure this. Can you hear me? What better cheerleader to rely on?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I was hearing my voice repeat back.
Oh, sorry about that. That was the feedback from the Instagram.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah. So despite how I felt, I trusted in God's promises. So that is the first place I would start with, is know that you are created for much greater purpose than you could probably imagine for your life right now. And don't give up on that. Don't give up that, oh, I'm in my 50s.